Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My name is David Quinn. I am the Director of Technology Integration for the Mendon-Upton Regional School District. Tonight is the MURSD Elementary Parent Tech Town Hall. Joining me tonight is our Senior iPad Technician, Sam O'Neill. Sam, thanks for being here.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Also joining me is my counterpart, the Director of Technology Operations, Joe Lakeview. Also joining us this evening are our two building principals, the principal of Henry P. Clough Elementary, Jan Gallagher, and the principal hey, thanks, Jan. And the principal of Memorial Elementary, Wendy Bell. Wendy, thanks so much for being here.
Good evening, everyone.
So just wanted to kind of go through a little bit of our docket for today. So we're going to just give a brief overview of the one-to-one learning program, particularly how we got to this point with iPads at the elementary level. Then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the common challenges that have popped up. So we took a look at the survey data that you responded to. Thank you so much for when the district sent out the parent feedback survey. We also reached out to our teachers just to figure out some common questions or concerns that you folks have been sharing with them. So they were generous enough to send those to us as well. And then we were just kind of looking at some common things that have popped up on our one-to-one learning feedback form or our parent help form. And then if you have any questions, we're happy to answer those today. You'll see on the bottom of your webinar screen a little button for Q&A. Those questions go right to a member of the panel. So if it's quick, Sam will jump in and answer that question directly. If not, he'll just port it over to me. So just to kind of give a recap of where we got here. This summer we added close to over 1,000 new iPads to our fleet. Most of those were elementary iPads that your children have access to now. This is something that we had been thinking about for a long time. Jan has been a staunch advocate of getting every student access to a device in the school, and Wendy's been super supportive along the way as well. And so, you know, while it's a tragedy that it took COVID to get here, we're fortunate to have them. Big thank you to Sam, who was instrumental in setting them up, particularly because 80% of the devices arrived just before the start of school. So he spent the first last week of August and then the first few weeks of September making sure that they got all set up. We also had 50 new staff iPads to set up as a result of our initial remote learning. And, you know, we provided those devices. Thank you for all of you who showed up to pick up the devices through the drive-through, and thanks to all the teachers who gave their time to help distribute materials. And then we also did and continue to do home delivery. We know that the logistics for some families getting to school can be a challenge, and we continue to do device swap outs as needed. I'll show you how to access technology support in case you're not familiar with it. But we are here to make sure that you have your technology needs. And then one just kind of other wrinkle that we ran into at the beginning of the year that may have caused some hiccups at the beginning was that Apple in its infinite wisdom decided to release a new operating system on the 16th of September, which caused some issues with Alexia and Zoom. And so thank you all for your patience as we navigated that. Sam, that hit a little close to home?
Sorry. It's still fresh.
So with the new access to devices, we also expanded some of our platform access. Some of these will look very familiar to you, so I'm sure families are all regular users of Clever and Seesaw. Your children took the iReady assessment just to kind of give us a benchmark of where they are relative to statewide standards on reading and math. And then this really applies more to our middle school students, but we also have Edgenuity. That's a new tool that we've brought in for our middle school curriculum. So there's been a lot of changeover, not just the new devices, but the new platforms as well. But, you know, as difficult as this year has been, there's been a lot of silver linings. Our teachers have been incredible in integrating the new technology as part of their teaching practice. The kids are transitioning to using the devices really smoothly, asking excellent questions. And, you know, particularly some of these pictures down at the bottom where kids were engaging in a wide variety of activities, not just on their devices, but some paper and pencil activities. But that combination of being able to have access to a device on demand or to choose to learn through paper and pencil activities just simply wasn't possible a year ago. So we're really excited to see what comes out of the new access to technology. On the other end, in that top picture that you see in the top left-hand corner, and this was from a while ago, but we're really appreciative of the families who are continually engaging with the Seesaw activities, liking students' work, providing comments, visiting to check in. That's all a super critical component of helping students stay connected, during this COVID pandemic learning experience. So thank you for doing your part. So what I want to transition to now just a little bit is to talk through some of the common challenges that we're hearing from families. So I'm going to shift over here to just this iPad and just kind of walk through some challenges, but also review some of the critical resources that we have available on the device. So one of the biggest, most important ones, if you follow my cursor over here to this MU help desk, this link right here takes you to our help desk form. And so if you're ever in need of technology support, this is the best way to get a hold of us. A copy of this form is sent to all 5 members of our technology team that have access to it. We try to get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes, depending on the volume of foot traffic in our office, it takes a little bit longer. So we appreciate your patience there. But this is the absolute best way to get a hold of us if you or your child is in need of technology support. I'm gonna hit the home button again to take us back to the screen. The other thing I want to show too is the self-service icon. The self-service is basically our app store. So we control all of the apps that your child has access to on the device. So they can't just download any app that they want. We curate the apps to make sure that they are learning tools and that they've been either requested by a teacher or vetted by a member of our staff. So we've got a wide range of tools that are available. This is where you can go to kind of search through them with your child, or if for some reason you need to delete apps. Occasionally, sometimes apps, get a little bit wonky from time to time and just need a reinstallation. So sometimes if you need to delete an app, let's grab an app that I don't really need here. So to delete an app, all you have to do is hold down on it, and then you'll see that the delete app option comes up. Just hit delete. And then you can reinstall that app by just clicking on tapping on self-service. So let's start with Clever a little bit here. So you'll notice there were 2 icons on Clever. We've been trying to phase out to this icon from the white icon to the blue icon. The blue icon is the official icon. That's the one that allows stored passwords to be in place. So for apps like Go Math, which don't necessarily link directly into PowerSchool, this is the tool that allows for that single initial sign-on. So I'm going to go ahead and tap Clever. And we're going to switch around the camera. Andrew Moran was kind enough to allow us to use his account today. So I'm going to just sign in again. A little closer. All right. Now, one thing I do notice with a lot of folks who are saying that they can't log into Clever is that, why do I have to keep logging into Clever? Because if you tap the badge again, so the camera pops up, and it does. You would think within an app that Clever would just keep you logged in. I just want to assure you that you are logged in, and that when you need to access Clever tools again, just know that it's located in Safari. So long as Safari is open, so long as that Clever portal is open, you'll have access to get to any one of your links or your platforms. So that's super important for you to understand. The other thing too is sometimes when families have problems logging into Clever, just check to make sure, let's just move this over here. Just check to make sure that you don't already have a Clever portal open. I'm finding that a lot of students, if they're getting some sort of error message when trying to log in using the camera, it's because Clever's already open, and that it's basically essentially looking for a double tap on the app. So just make sure, just know that when Clever, so long as you've logged into Clever once, it should stay in for about 24 hours. So you should only need to sign in once a day. Be sure to check to make sure that you don't have a browser tab open. And then all of the icons or all of the apps that are district provided are all at the bottom of that opening page. The core ones that you'll see are Lexia. Seesaw is our primary portal for learning and demonstration of learning and just sharing artifacts with teachers. We also have ST Math, which is a great mathematics resource to help develop conceptual understanding of math. McGraw-Hill is where our Wonders programming is located. And then we all know Lexia Core 5. So any of these apps can provide, this provides you the quickest access to them. You'll also notice that many of the teachers, as I'm sure you found out right up top, any of your children's teachers also have a page that you can access to, which have teacher-specific apps. And then sometimes we'll provide access to a teacher's Zoom room down below here as well. So we try to make Clever a one-stop shop for all of your needs. Mr. O'Neill, anything with Clever that you're seeing from the feedback forms that I should touch upon beyond the access?
The only thing that I will say is it's touching on what you had said before, is using Clever as much as you can. It's a one-stop shop. So I believe you still can go to the IXL app and still log in, but we would rather use the Clever app solely it's convenient, it's easy to use. We have it set up already. And sometimes with some of the apps, it wants Clever to log it in. So it's expecting Clever login or a Clever request. So if it just gets, the username and password, it won't take it as well as a Clever login. So it's very easy to use. It's just a simple tap and log in.
I would also say too, that's particularly true of Seesaw. I noticed some confusion, at least at the beginning of the year. Sometimes Seesaw also has the ability to log in, and I'm a student, and it asks for a QR code. The QR code for Clever does not work with Seesaw. The other thing that I would try to avoid doing is please don't sign in to your parent account on the device, because that can also cause confusion. Try to log in as much as you can from the Clever portal. And again, I tapped on Clever, but what I should be doing is going into Safari, because that's where all of the apps are housed. So that's Clever in a nutshell. Let's open up Seesaw just for the sake of example. And again, you notice that Seesaw, no thanks for notifications. Just navigating around in Seesaw. So the journal works very similarly like to a Facebook or feed or a Twitter feed. So if you're familiar with that, you can scroll through and see your child's work. If you want to navigate to any of the different classes, you just tap where your child's name is, and it shows you all the classes, and then the notification of this little red circle shows any sort of notification or assignment that's due in the class. If your child wants to just add something, let's say a note to a teacher or something that they're particularly proud of, that add button allows your child to add one of a wide variety of options to their Seesaw journal. So they can add a photo, so they can document, let's say, a picture that they've drawn or a piece of work they've written on. Let's say they're working on their handwriting. If they wanted to draw something just right on the device, they have a drawing. If they wanted to record themselves, let's say they're doing some sort of speaking activity or demonstration, they can use video. They can upload some of their work. If they want to type something, like say it's more of like it's written type, they can use the note function, and then they can also provide a link to their work if they said they had something online that they wanted to share on the journal. And then also you can see the activities, so that's any activities that are due. You can see their status of whether they're in progress or they're done. And then the inbox allows you, captures class communications from the teacher to the student. So that is Seesaw in a nutshell. I'm just going back to Safari.
Yeah.
So that isn't that in terms of Clever from the issues that I've been seeing so far. So the other one that I just want to kind of talk a little bit about, changing gears a little bit here, is some families have talked to me about potential parental controls they can put on a device. And so there's a couple different options that we have. If you live in Upton and you have Spectrum Internet, I regret to report there is no internal parental controls through Spectrum Internet. I called to ask just to confirm that is not the case. So you're going to have to use either our internal option or our a purchase option, which I'll go over the one that I recommend. If you live in Mendon and have Xfinity, Xfinity has a little bit more of a robust tool that you can use on your end. So I'm just going to open up that page now. And so let's see if it goes over. So if you navigate to xfinity.com, it shows you parental controls that you can take over your internet. So you can either do that through the Xfinity website, or you can log right into your wireless gateway at http://10.0.0.1. And you need a computer that's directly connected to the internet in order to do it. There's also, so that's for the wireless gateway, and then XFi also has very similar controls. So what can you do with the parental controls? So you have website blocking capabilities. So you can block sites. Sometimes we get requests to block YouTube or other URLs. We're happy to do it as much as we can. We just find that our response time, just based on the volume of requests that we get and the other work that we're doing, is not as expedient as what you may be able to do at home. So you may want to take that upon yourself to block the specific sites that you want. You can also block keywords, so keywords that appear on different sites, and then you can also, restrict just which computers are trusted or not on your network.
Yeah, and sorry, Mr. Quinn.
No, go for it.
I've been seeing it a lot recently. It's going to be much easier and much more robust to do it on your home Wi-Fi than it is for us to put it on your child's device. The parental controls and the content filters that we provide through the iPad and through our management system is limited to just really websites and adult content, and that's all we have. And it sounds like it should be a lot, but it's not as much as I think it should be. So making sure that the parental controls are set up on your home network is very, very important. And especially if your child has numerous devices, Xbox, cell phone, another iPad, laptop, just making sure that that's on and readily available for you. It's definitely a way to go.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. Yeah, I think we put controls on through the app piece. The internet filters are strong at school. We're constantly being updated and evaluated. And at home, we take that as an opportunity for families to decide, how they want to structure their child's internet access. For some families, YouTube is not part of the equation. For others, YouTube is, a learning opportunity for the family. So we recognize that different families have different um, beliefs about what technology access looks like. And our suggestion is for you to use the controls available, through your local internet control, but also some of the things that we're talking to you about. The other thing I'd like to recommend, another resource, is The Art of Screen Time by Anya Kamenetz. Wrote a really interesting and useful book, and then a follow-up article in the New York Times, which I'll put in the link to the show notes, just helping families to think through the rules and guidance on how they want to structure screen time. And what's most important is that you're having regular conversations with your child about what they're doing online. I think another piece of it as well is when I was growing up, and I'm sure for many families out there, you had the desktop computer, right? And so it wasn't like you could pick up and move your desktop to any part of the house, in part because it was pretty obvious what you were doing, but also because there wasn't wireless internet, so you had to be in like a hardline account. That said, I think the other piece of it too was not just the physical lugging around of the device, but also kind of the mentality, right? That the computer lived in a spot. And while I know that iPads are mobile, and that's one of the benefits, there's no reason why families can't install the idea or the belief that the iPad is to be used in very specific, very visible locations. Now, I know that can be challenging with family working schedules, but while you're home, I think it's helpful to set those expectations about where the device lives. We also recommend that the devices not get charged in the child's room at night. Try, if at all possible, to find a spot in the kitchen where the device has a home that lives, that it has its own bed, so that way there's not that temptation to be on it throughout the night. So just some little tips that can kind of go a long way in terms of helping to reduce both the temptation to use the device in inappropriate ways, but also to reduce kind of just that stress of the back and forth. I have two young children of my own. One's 3, one's 1. And I know sometimes our children are strong-willed and have very strong opinions on things. So I think once we set those expectations, it becomes a little bit more part of the routine. And Jan, Wendy, if you have anything to chime in, by all means, feel free to stop me. I know you've got kids and in some instances grandkids, so a lot of wisdom with you both as well. But one other thing I just wanted to add too is that the Xfinity Wi-Fi has access to time limits where you can block time or access to the internet. So set a time of the day. I know that in talking to some families, that window of time between when the child gets home from school and when mom and dad get home, or whoever the child lives with gets home from work, those can be those hours where you have a little bit less supervision, the more hours that you're worried about. So I would recommend, using those internal Wi-Fi options, and if you have Xfinity. If you don't have Xfinity, a more comprehensive but a little bit more costly solution is a tool called Circle. Circle is a internet filtration system, and really a comprehensive tool that can be piggybacked onto your home network. It allows you to filter content. It allows you to set time limits. So based on the device, how much time your child can spend on a specific site or platform. You can pause the internet at any time. So that way, if you just need to give your child to have a break, the internet can be paused. There's also a bedtime. So that way that the internet is just shut off on different times, and then that can be changed on the weekend. So if you want to extend the weekend a little bit over, what's really nice about this is it's a set it and forget it. So that way you can set it and forget it, and so that way you don't have to keep manually changing it, which is a little bit different from our Jamf Parent tool. And then it also helps you to track the history of the sites that they visited, the overall usage, and then it also tracks the location. So it's a really comprehensive tool that I recommend for families I will say that it is a little bit expensive. It is expensive. That, you know, a 3-month subscription is, you know, $69. A 1-year subscription with the router is $29, and then about $9.99 a month afterwards. Or you can get the lifetime subscription for $300. Again, may not be in your family's budget, but if it's something that is important to you and that you you know, you feel like it's something that's going to be essential, it might be worth the investment. Now, the plan, so the other thing just to kind of note here too is that, you know, while this is still in discussion, while the devices are going home now, we envision the devices living in school once school returns to the normal structure. So that's something you might want to keep in mind. If you have other devices at home besides the school-issued iPad, this still might be a good investment for you as well. The last thing I want to just talk about briefly is kind of the blunt tool that we have internally. It's something called Jamf Parent. Jamf Parent is a really, Sam, what'd you call it? Primitive tool.
Yeah.
For parental controls. And so just on self-service over here, if you are interested in it, you can ask us for it. So Jamf Parent, if you see this icon in the top right-hand corner, that means that this device is linked in with Jamf Parent. And by tapping this, it pops up a QR code, which you can link into an app on your phone. Let me see if I can streamline up so you can kind of see where this looks like here. Screen monitoring here for a second.
Yeah, it's like Mr. Quinn is saying, it's pretty.
Yeah, I don't want to get your hopes up here.
Yeah.
Share. Well,
yeah.
Let's see here.
Let's see.
All right, can you all see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I've got Jamf Parent on my phone here. Let me just find it. Parent. All right. And you can see all of the devices you have listed. So I've linked up to David Quinn. This is the device. And what you can do, the best piece of it is that
sorry, Mr.
Yep. Is it not coming through?
Sorry, Mr. Quinn. No, could you go back and like maybe 10 or 15 seconds, your voice cut out.
Oh, okay. So on my phone, I have Jamf Parent. And this is the app. Within the app, it lists all the devices you have access to covering. So I'm going to tap on David Quinn. And the best kind of use of this is something called restrict device functionality. And what this allows you to do is list all of the apps that are, this lists all of the apps that it can control. So again, you can see it's kind of limited. So if you wanted to turn off messages and FaceTime are already off. If you wanted to turn off Safari, you could. The really big tool that's available is Enable App Lock. And this allows you to set a timer for what apps you want to make available to your child. So say you just wanted to have just the Google Suite open. So I'm going to allow them to have Classroom, Slides, ConnectEd, which is for the Wonders, Docs, Drive, Gmail in case they need to get a hold of their teacher. I'm just going to grab these for right now. And then what you do is you set a timer for how long you want the device to be restricted in the functionality. So if I wanted to say it for an hour, I hit the done button. Now I'm going to go back over to my iPad here. You'll notice that we're really just down to these apps. So if you really wanted to scope in and narrow down the focus of what your child has control over, Jamf Parent is one tool to do it. It's not a set it and forget it. You have to set up those controls on a regular basis. I compare it to brushing your teeth. Yes, it's not necessarily the most enjoyable 2 minutes. It's not how you want to be spending 2 minutes, but if it's really important to you, this is the free option that we can provide. Our mobile device management group, JAMF, is aware of a better product that they're trying to integrate. My recommendation is if you're interested in advocating to them to make their more robust program available to us, I'd be happy to give you the email and contact. But this is the best tool that we have, given the management system we have in place at this point. Mr. O'Neill.
Yeah, and I think that honestly sums it up. It does what it's advertised and nothing more. It's very limited.
So let's just talk a couple of other things that topics that have come up. Switch back over here. Some families have been asking some questions about Power School. How do I get more information about Power School? So most of the Power School information is underneath the Explore tab on the district website. So I'm still on MURSD.org, and then I'm under Parents. And then under Parents, you can see Power School Parent page. Oops, sorry. All right. Sorry, I picked the wrong one. Sorry about that. Parents, Power School page. And on this page gives you the link to the Power School Parent and sign in. And also, if you do not have a Power School Parent account, this is the link to a form that you can get access to get your account set up. Then this other link provides structure and guidance for accessing Power School for the first time. And then the next few links also allow you to walk through how to review grades and assignments for both NISCO and NIPMUC if you have children at that level, but also Memorial and Clough. And then if you want to review previous grades and comments, there's a link on how to do that process as well. The final piece that just wanted to share is that if you have any questions, our data coordinator, Liz Black, who's absolutely wonderful, is attached to Power School at MURSD.org. So if you email her with any questions, she can walk you through any sort of Power School concern that you have. Another topic that's come up is related to the weekly summary. So if your child's in 4th grade, your teacher is usually using Google Classroom. You should be able to get Google Classroom updates on a regular basis. If you're not, for whatever reason, or you've stopped getting them, you can click on find the last one that you've received, and then click on the settings button. And this settings button allows you to determine how frequently you want to get updates. So you can get them as frequently as daily, or you might want to get them on a weekly digest on Friday. But this shows you all of the children that are linked up to your account. The other thing this allows you to do is it allows you to set your time zone so that the updates come at a more reasonable time. Sometimes they were coming at in the middle of the night, which was a cause of concern for some families. Google, which is pretty responsive to family concerns, changed that so families could set a timer on that. So that gives you a little bit more control. One other topic that I wanted to bring up too was one that came up from one of our elementary teachers just about navigating Zoom. I'm going to actually turn off my parental controls here just for a second. You'll be able to see how JAMF Parent works in real time here. So stable out. And you see all the apps magically came down. One thing that a teacher asked me to just cover is within Zoom. I'm going to start a separate meeting here. Sometimes you'll be in a meeting and the teacher will want the child to share their screen or just to demonstrate some work that they're doing. So the way to do that is if we're in a meeting, we'll start the meeting. see at the top screen, if we bring up, swipe down here a little bit just for a second, tap on the top. You'll see the share screen button. If you tap on that, it'll give you a whole host of options, but you're gonna tap the screen option. And then you'll want to tap the Zoom option. And so that tells the device to broadcast the screen to Zoom. And if your child wishes to speak, you want to make sure they're tapping that the microphone is now off. We're going to turn that on. Screen. Down on that. Now it's on. And then it's kind of counterintuitive, but the button to press to get the screen sharing to start is start broadcast. And right now it's not available because I'm airplaying, but that is the process through which you would share your screen. So it's right on top here, just to recap again. And we'll go up. So share screen, select the screen, select Zoom, and then start broadcast. And away you can go. And then one final topic that I wanted to bring up, it's one of our least pleasant topics, is what happens when the device breaks. Because breakages do happen, although it's been pretty rare at the elementary level, so I'll knock on wood. Hopefully it stays that way. So we want to ensure that the devices are in top quality for whoever's going to be using them, whether it's your child or whether it's going to be someone else. There are a couple scenarios under which the device your child uses this year may not be the device that they use next year for a wide variety of reasons. Maybe your family takes, unfortunately leaves the district for another new exciting opportunity. We'll miss you, but we wish you well. For other reasons, we may just choose to leave the devices in the existing homeroom. With that in mind, we want to make sure the device is functioning at full capacity. And based on our many years of experience, there's really only two ways that can happen. The first is that if we repair them directly through Apple using their GSX program, that returns the device to factory condition. We know that device is going to be fully functioning. At one point, we had allowed families to choose their own repair. Unfortunately, just the range of quality prevents us from being able to continue to offer that option. We've had floating home buttons, we've had inaccurately placed glass, we've had damage that wasn't fully corrected because it wasn't seen. Sam, am I missing anything? You see a lot of these oddities.
It's amazing the range of, I wouldn't call them defects, but it's just amazing. I mean, different, like different size screens placed in different size devices. So putting like a 4th gen iPad screen inside of a 6th gen, like just simple stuff that just forces the iPad to not work anymore. It's amazing.
Yeah, and so this is not to say that some groups just don't do an incredible job as good as Apple. They're not using Apple parts. I think that's one kind of factor. Apple doesn't sell them to anybody other than Apple, so they're going to get. Oh my God. But the only other option that we can offer to families is if they opt for the security, which is our approved vendor for iPad insurance. I'm just switch over here just for a second. So the website here is security.com/MURSD-warranty. I would recommend, if you're interested in insuring the device, I would select a 1-year term. We're always looking for a better deal. Within the last year, we not only negotiated the price down, but there's no more deductible. So $49 for a year covers you completely. When it asks you to select a model, just select year 1 of your iPads. The warranty, accidental theft and perils. You pay in full. I would recommend just a Hopefully this doesn't get hung up. So 1 year, paying full buy-in now. That's what I'd recommend if you are interested in purchasing insurance. But it's a good value. You don't have to worry about it if it breaks. You ship the device out to them, they repair it and ship it back to you, and there's no cost beyond the initial premium. So those are your two options. If we have to get it repaired through Apple's GSX, it is expensive. It is $250, but that ensures that the device, again, is back to the factory condition. So those are kind of your options. So you got the $49 option or the $250 option. It's up to you on what you decide to do, but I just want to make those two clear as well.
One thing I will say too, if you do either option, your child will either get a loaner or replacement device. So you don't have to worry about your child just not having a device because you want to, because security wants you to send it in. We'll get your child a device. We never, ever want your child to be without, the ability to work on schoolwork, to access Zooms, to do whatever they need to do. We'll make sure that they get what they need, no matter what happens.
So yes, their academics and their learning comes first. We'll figure out the rest after the fact. So with that, I'll turn it over to if there are any Q&As that folks want to drop into the chat. By all means, Spell, Ms. Gallagher, Mr. Lakeview, anything you'd like to add or something I should cover that we didn't touch upon over the course of our conversation today?
Oh, Ms. Gallagher, I think you're muted.
I think you did a fabulous job. I can't think of anything else, but maybe the parents have a question.
Another couple minutes.
Hi, Dave. I have something that I think is important for the families to know as well. Just as we've been navigating, putting devices in the hands of young kids. Some of the things that we've come across are, kids are using the devices for all kinds of things at home outside of school, which is totally fine. One of the things that we did discover over the past couple of weeks is that unlike a device that you may have at home, your search history can't be deleted. So we are able to go back and look and see what kids are looking at. And just as a parent myself, I just urge families to, get on the device, open up their email once in a while. Most of the kids aren't even aware that they have an email, but it is there, and some kids have discovered it. You can check the search history in Safari, all of those things that you would do. Honestly, if your child had a device at home and, they've been using it, I'd just remain vigilant with the use of the iPads as well.
Great advice, Principal Bell. I think the other thing too is students use a wide variety of tools to connect with one another. So the Google Docs and Google Slides, sometimes you may want to just pop in those just to see what's going on. So just, feel free to treat the device like it's, a family owned device in terms of being able to search it and find out what's going on. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Just want to show two more things. So again, that book that I recommended was The Art of Screen Time, How Your Family Can Balance Digital Media in Real Life by Anya Kamenetz. We did an interview with her a couple years ago when the book came out. Really fantastic, really practical solutions. She also wrote a follow-up. I was a screen time expert, then coronavirus happened. So taking her learnings from being, a parent with children home at all times. Some good follow-up advice in that article as well. We'll put that in the link to, or in the kind of the notes of the YouTube section as well. So I think that just about does it for us. Thank you to all of you who joined us live. If you have any questions for those of you who are watching this on demand at a later time, I'll put my email address in there in case you want to reach out to me. Again, we're here to support you. thank you very much for your dedication to your child's education and your support of the district as a whole. We really value you, your child, and the effort that you put into his or her, their learning. So for the Mendon-Upton Regional School District, I'm Dave Quinn. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week and a happy and healthy 2021. Take care.
Thank you.